Hello, everybody. How you folks doing today? Happy Tuesday. Alrighty. Glad you're able to find us here on Twitch. Hopefully you're here for Object-Oriented Program. Apparently we didn't have enough letters for this to say programming, but it should say programming in Java here for the summer semester. Good to see all you folks. Yeah, Yuki, we are definitely going to use the book that's our main reference. I'm going to be pulling out the highlights, the interesting stuff, giving you examples, and the book will be your reference, your practice, has all sorts of exercises for you folks to work on, which is a great resource. The 6th edition will be fine. It's a little bit different when it comes to graphical user interface programmings. Oh my goodness, I need more coffee. So the chapters what we have planned to cover 12, 13, and 14 are different in the 6th edition book. But he's got most of that same material and it's fine. And we actually kind of do a little bit differently than Mr. Gaddis does as well for following along with graphical user interface programming. So, and we'll talk about that when we get there. Don't worry too much. We can definitely make it work. So, yeah, hi again. I'm Eric, as you can see right there, or there. Right? Oh, wait, hang on, where? Right there. Yes, right there. That's me. Nice to have you along. I'm not a big fan of Zoom University, and especially in a class like this that is mostly lecture-based. If we were in person, it would be lecture and then lab style, where you go and try things on your computers, and I could walk around and answer questions. And it just doesn't seem to translate well into the Zoom world. Trying to get people on and share screens and do it in front of everybody else, and that gets to be a little bit difficult. So the sort of lab exercises we can take offline. I have Zoom, we have Discord. Hopefully you got a chance to join the Discord server. That has a super fast and easy screen sharing option right there, or we can use Zoom as well. That's perfectly fine. So, of course, what we do with all classes, and I apologize, is I will try not to read to you, but I'm going to pick out the highlights here of the syllabus. Dusty, oh, you are already ready for dad jokes. You got it here. So I just gotten a couple for you folks here. I'm a big fan of dad jokes. So, you know, it kind of comes with the territory. I have 6 kids, so I tell dad jokes all the time. So let me grab one here. And anytime I find a funny one, I will save it for you guys. Let me here we go. So I just grab them all here and I screenshot them on my phone for you when I find them. If I can get it to load, of course. Come on. Let's see. Ah, yes. So here's one for you. It's how many Nintendo fans does it take to change a light bulb? Who knows? They're all too busy playing with the Switch. Oh, that wasn't too bad. On a stretch, you got it. All right. 64 of them. Man, if you played N64, that's classic, right? That was actually the first video game console I bought with my own money. Was the N64. I got it used from GameStop. So yes, I'm one of those weirdos who has fond memories of GameStop. Oh, Ocarina of Time was fantastic. That was such a good game. I am a giant nerd. Hopefully you had a chance to check out my profile page here. This is my little introduction to you. You probably Googled me like you do all your profs here, but I'm the only Eric Chinesky in the world that I know of. So it should be easy to find. You can check out my LinkedIn profile if you're curious. All sorts of things. I'm currently on hiatus right now due to some family issues from the Doctor of Engineering program, but hopefully we'll be back shortly. We'll see how it goes. I have 6 kids. I'm training for a marathon, although that's not been going well. Hopefully I'll get back into that soon. Post-COVID symptoms are awful. And then I do play a mostly weekly D&D campaign with 3 of my middle-aged kids. So that's always lots of fun. Or any sorts of games. This is just one stack of games here. This is my cell number. Yeah, it is actually this one right here. It goes right to my phone. You can call or text anytime. I should change this. This was in the spring semester. Let me edit this here. I am not often awake at 8 a.m. That is just not going to happen. So let me fix that here. Say like 10 a.m. It's summer, right? So between 10 a.m. and midnight, probably even later than midnight, I'll be around. Feel free to call or text anytime. Happy to do what I can to answer there. You can also email me. You can find me on Discord, on the Discord server. You direct message me, all that good stuff. It all goes to my phone anyway and beeps, which is almost always in my pocket, unless my little guy is watching YouTube videos on it. So, all right. That's me in a nutshell. Our textbook, if you took 1500, we'll be using the same book. We cover some of the later portions that we kind of skipped through. 6th or 7th edition is fine of the Gaddis, starting out with Java from control structures through objects book. That's perfectly fine. You'll be okay. Excuse me. We are actually moving away from this book next semester. I'm sorry we haven't yet for you folks. But next semester we're moving away from it. So, oh, you get some feedback there? Hang on, let me see. Is that any better now with the mic? How's that? I had a fan running. I have some cooling issues on my Surface Book. Okay, sorry about that. Maybe I had it up too high. Okay, sorry. Yeah, thanks for letting me know. All right, so we'll take a little bit of time here and go through the syllabus. Again, I'm not going to read it to you if I can help it. I'll just pull out the highlights here. I don't have any set office hours yet. There's a link that I'll post in a little bit, and it's in the Discord as well, to a when to meet survey, which says when is the best time for you for me to have office hours. So let me go find that link here. Where did I put it? I thought I put it in the Discord. Here. So I'm having all of my classes fill this out here. I offered any time between 9 and 5 p.m. or 10 p.m. to midnight. I can have standing office hours to meet with you folks, answer questions, drop in, just general tech chat, any of that stuff. Whatever you're interested in is fair game for office hours there. If you can't make one of those times, then we can also book something, schedule something off one of those hours. Just contact me. Give me a couple choices of times when you can make it, and I'll try my best to make one of those times work, if possible. I occasionally meet people on the weekends if you're busy all week, although I try not to because it's my time to hang out and do stuff with the family. But evening times on the weekends usually pretty open. After my kids go to bed at 9 p.m. or so, I'm usually around. All right, so I'll post this link here in a little bit as well for when to meet for office hours. Just on Discord is the plan. Just direct message me. And again, you don't have to wait until office hours to send me a message. Send me a message anytime you want, but those are times that I have set aside to be sitting at my desk meeting with folks. And you can even reserve 15 minutes, half an hour, whatever you want to schedule a meeting with me. I'll block that time off in the standing office hours, which is fine. All right, our class meeting times. Again, if this were an in-person class, I would probably talk for 2 to 3 hours. I try not to go that long if I can help it, because even I get bored of hearing myself talk. And then we have lab work, exercise, practice time, try things until 9:45 p.m. So I will not ever go talk until 9:45 p.m. in this remote format. So don't worry, you're not going to fall asleep. I'll try to keep it to 2 to 3 hours, closer to the 2 if I can help it. Hours worth of lecturing, and then you can go off and practice those sorts of things. Let me know if you have trouble, and we go from there. So you found twitch.tv/Eric Jarneski. That's my channel here. I should mention, I forgot yesterday actually, I do get money from Twitch occasionally, although it hasn't happened yet, but I'm supposed to be able to. But I don't want you to think I'm double dipping and trying to get money from Twitch for doing this teaching thing. So anything that does come my way from Twitch, in case you guys see ads or anything like that, will go towards the Student Scholarship Fund over at U of M Dearborn, where I also teach. Don't worry, there's an OCC scholarship too that we're working on for CIS students. But so anything from Twitch will go towards the Student Scholarship Fund there at U of M Dearborn, because they're a lot more expensive anyway. Oh, very cool. Nice to have you, Mead. Miad? I don't know how you pronounce your handle. So that'll all go there. If you have a Twitch Prime, or if you have an Amazon Prime subscription, you can get one free Twitch subscription a month. So some people thought it was kind of cool. They could make Amazon pay for their student scholarship fund. Well, yeah, so everyone in this class is probably an OCC student. But hey, that's so cool, Yuki. Thanks for contributing your Prime subscription to the scholarship fund there. So I've got a list. I'd be happy to show you folks anytime. I've yet to get a payout because they only pay you like every $100 or something. But, you know, every little bit will build up towards that scholarship fund there. So if you can't make it live on twitch.tv, you can check out the VODs, if you like, on Twitch. They're available for about 45 days. So I also export everything out to YouTube on my YouTube channel right here with this link. So if you like synchronous lectures and you want to be able to participate in chat and ask questions as I'm lecturing, join Twitch. If that's not what you like to do, you want to watch it at your time, your speed, whatever, you just want to catch the asynchronous recording, go for it. It'll be available on YouTube after class. Either one's okay. But again, these are public platforms, so I don't take any attendance. Excuse me. All right. So our course catalog, hopefully you already read that. Prereq was 1500. Some of you might have had me for 1500 last semester. You might have had other teachers last semester. That should be a lot of fun. A couple things we're going to get into. So specific course outcomes or general education is critical thinking. Right? A lot of programming is problem solving. Hopefully you figured that out from 1500. It's about how we take a big problem and break it down into smaller pieces and smaller chunks and smaller chunks into small enough chunks to make the computer be able to do it. Other outcomes. I'm sorry, Yuki. So I'm teaching 1500 this semester, and my last semester 1500 is also out on YouTube. If you guys are bored, but no, sorry to hear that. I'd be happy to talk to you offline about that. I'm a new full-time faculty member. I've been adjuncting in OCC for several years, since 2012, I think. Yeah, I got my master's in 2011, started in 2012. So I was an adjunct for a long time before getting this full-time spot, which means I have an office somewhere at the Orchard Ridge campus, which I have not been to yet since I started this fall, and we've been fully remote. It's a really weird time to start a job in the pandemic. All right, so overall architecture of Java applications, including how modules are compiled and executed in a Java runtime environment. NetBeans does almost all this for us, which is amazing. We'll talk a little bit about that. We'll write Java code that illustrates the proper use of inheritance, composition, polymorphism, access specifiers, public, protected, private, abstract classes, and interfaces. We're going to deep dive into object-oriented programming. You should have written classes and looked at some basics of object-oriented programming in 1500, and we're going to go deep here in 2151. We'll look at static class members, fields, and methods, how they're created and used, describe how they differ from instance fields, the difference between instances of classes, right, where we have objects, or static classes. We'll look at exception handling, including user-defined exceptions. This is amazing. I get into this in 1500 because I think we should learn exceptions a lot sooner. Exceptions are the way our classes communicate because they have no idea what's happening otherwise. Excuse me, some basic stream input and output, buffered and non-buffered, including sequential and random file operations with text and binary content. We'll do advanced file I/O, particularly around binary content because that is much easier-ish. Again, there's some caveats there, but writing stuff to disk and reading stuff from disk in binary form in Java is fantastic. I love it. We'll write Java code that defines using Java FX. We ignore swing. I ignore swing. You can look it up in the book. Mr. Gaddis shows you all about swing if you want it. With multiple layouts and associated event handling. This will be our final project and probably one before that, maybe more. I've got to see. Last semester had some feedback around wanting to do more Java FX programming. So I'm working on how to implement that. We'll look at some basic Java annotations like @override and some other ones. We'll create design documentation for programmer-defined components, classes, inheritance using standard notation, which is our UML class diagram. So we'll get some UML class diagrams, and we'll describe common design patterns such as singletons, adapters, and factories. Design patterns are awesome. You can take an entire class if you continue on to get a 4-year bachelor's degree in computer science. Highly recommend taking a design patterns class. We can only really touch on it here, and they're phenomenal. Again, our textbook. Cool. All right, other materials we're going to need. You will need a github.com account. These are free. Don't pay for anything, please. We will use the GitHub desktop client to work with Git and the GitHub. We'll have Discord for office hours. You can use the web version or the full client desktop version, whatever you prefer. I have it on my phone as well, so anytime you message me, it pops up on my phone. a web browser for Twitch. Hopefully you found it here. You're all here live. Anyone watching the recording probably found it, or YouTube. We're going to use NetBeans. That is my IDE of choice because Dr. Baugh said so, and he is much smarter than I am. He's been doing it for a lot longer than I have. So I said, sure, we'll use NetBeans. We're going to use the Open JDK, mostly because I am very upset that Oracle is trying to license Java. And it used to be free all the time, and then Oracle bought Java, and then they wanted to license it, which, I mean, it's not even a terrible thing, and the most terrible thing, but Java was always meant to be an open, free language. So we use the Open JDK version, which is free. We're going to use new repositories, software developer. Yep. So I actually have a slightly different way of doing that this semester. I'll talk about it in a little bit. And then we're going to use the OpenJFX as well for our graphical user interface applications. We're not going to use the Oracle packaged one. So we'll use the OpenJFX along with Scene Builder, which is a free tool from Gluon, for building our user interfaces. It's fantastic. If none of this installs right, or you have trouble with it, or you don't want to install it on yours, then you can also use the virtual desktop that OCC has provided where everything is pre-installed. The only downside is it's a little bit slower, I found. Although maybe it depends on how powerful your laptop is. All right, and I can show you how to use that if you haven't seen it before. Okay, so course policies on assessments and assessment policies and procedures. So particularly for this course around plagiarism and cheating, this is a big pet peeve of mine. I have very strong feelings that people who cheat should not get degrees because it devalues the degree for everyone who worked hard and earned it. If you go get a job and they see you got a degree from OCC and you don't know how to do it because you cheated your way through, they're going to think we did a terrible job teaching you. And then they're not going to want to hire other people from OCC. So any students engaging in academic dishonesty will receive a failing grade for the course and be reported to the dean's office. There is no 0 on the assignment. There is no try again. There is failure, immediate failure in the course, and reported to the dean's office. And if I recall correctly, I still forgot to ask my dean to confirm, I believe there's a 3-strike policy college-wide, where after 3 occurrences of academic dishonesty, you will be expelled and no longer welcome to be a student here. We do take this very seriously. That being said, if you're unsure, just ask. Right? I'm happy to look at it, happy to tell you, happy to answer any questions you might have about it. Right? If you're not sure, ask me. I've added this now because apparently this wasn't clear last time, that posting things to chegg.com and asking people to do your work for you is cheating. I don't know why that wasn't clear before, but now I'm making it extra clear here in the syllabus. So under no circumstances may chegg.com be used. Don't post things there. Don't cite answers posted there. Just don't ever go to chegg.com, please. They're a terrible website. They let people pay to cheat, and I hope they get sued. They're just awful people. I hate Chegg. Or other similar sites like Course Hero or other nonsense like that. Right? You can't post classwork and ask other people to do it for you. I thought that was clear that would be cheating, but apparently some people were confused. So yes, that is cheating. That is academic dishonesty. You will fail the class and be reported to the dean, and you can take it up with the dean. And as soon as I suspect that, in my judgment, something is construed as academic dishonesty, it's out of my hands. I have to do a bunch of paperwork, which really irritates me because it wastes my time to fill out all this paperwork instead of doing more important things. And then I ship it all off to the dean, and you fail the class. Then I'm done. I have nothing left to do with the process once I identify it as academic dishonesty. So please don't. Right? If you're not sure, just ask. Okay? My goal is to write projects and assignments that you can't go Google and answer for. Right? That's what I'm trying to do and come up with assignments. The final project had a similar-ish version that someone found online and turned in, and they failed. I had to fail 3 people last semester. It really upset me. Just ask my wife. It like bothers me and keeps me awake at night, which is unfortunate. So just don't cheat. Right? Just do the work. Yeah, that's right. We have Mr. Tim with us as well. He will be our supplemental instructor. I'll get to that in just a minute. So if you're not sure, ask. All right, student code of conduct, this is all copy-paste. Make sure you keep the classroom corridors quiet, please. This is super important this semester. All right, what everyone cares about, your grade. So I use a weighted scale here, which one person commented was confusing. So I'm assuming that means I didn't explain it well. So what that means is all of the projects in the class will contribute towards 35% of your score. So the points that projects are worth matter to the project's category, and that weight towards your final score. I can show you how to do this in Excel if you want to calculate your own and play with the numbers, which is when you can like plug in different scores and things. The quizzes will be 10% of your score. We'll have a quiz over every chapter we cover, essentially. We'll have one exam. It's just a midterm exam for only 15% of your score. Oh, sorry, the quizzes are open book, open notes, open internet. They have a due date, but don't have a time restriction. So you can open it, you can close it, you can come back to it. As long as you get it in before the due date, you're fine. Versus the midterm will be a time-bound exam. We'll have a 4-hour time limit on that midterm to get it complete. That tries to make sure that it's fair for everybody. So if you happen to be free all week and don't have anything else going on, you still only have 4 hours to do it. Versus someone else who might have a busy schedule and other obligations, they still get the same 4 hours. And then we'll have a final project that I would definitely recommend you do in pairs. I usually require that when we're in person, but it's just a little awkward here with remote learning to make people work in pairs, because I know sometimes it just doesn't work well. So it's optional to work in a pair for this final project. That'll be 40% of your grade. That is the only thing we're working on, essentially. The only homework you have all of August will be this final project. Okay, and then our grading scale, this should be standard for a particular letter grade, GPA, if you're shooting for, you know what percentage you need to get here. The end grade, essentially, if you don't turn anything in 3 weeks, you'll get an end grade. But I'll be emailing people, making sure that I know what's going on here. So don't worry too much about that. As long as you get something in, you'll be fine. Late work is not accepted without prior written approval, right? For projects, I go over the solutions the day that they're due. They're always going to be due by 6 p.m. a day of class, so that I can go over the solution in class. So you'll have at least 2 weeks for all the projects, except for the initial project 0, which is just a little starter one. I don't take those late. Get your quizzes in on time, get the midterm in on time, get your final project in on time, unless you have some sort of prior written approval from me, okay? Other things here, FERPA, hopefully you hear about this all the time. I'm not going to give your information to anybody, so use whatever handles you want online here. And if you ask about grades, I'll pretty much tell you just go look at D2L, because we're assuming you are the one who has access to your D2L login, and I'm not going to put it over email. I guess I can use your student email addresses, but that's just a big pain, so I just try not to. If you need any sort of accommodations here through the Americans with Disabilities Act, please work with the Access Office. They will send me the paperwork, and I'll be happy to work with you to accommodate as necessary. Our Academic Support Center is fantastic. I am super excited about the Academic Support Center, and one of the things they offer, not everywhere, but we were able to take them up on it, is to have a supplemental instructor with us, Mr. Tim. You might have remembered him from my 1500 course. So he actually sits along in the class with us so that he hears the exact same things you are hearing and hears all the nonsense I say, and then offers a weekly group study session where you folks can drop in, ask questions, work together, do some exercises, some guided practice. He is a wealth of knowledge and is just fantastic. We got some really good reviews last semester from having Tim SI for the course. So I was really excited we're able to have him back. And in addition to those SI sessions, which are, is that 5 to 6 on Thursdays, correct? Yeah, I think 5 to 6 on Thursdays. There's a document here in course information with the Zoom information. So those will be a Zoom seminar here. Click that. It's got the Zoom link in there. Go for it. I'm just not going to post it publicly here. So you'll have access to that in D2L. You can get all that info there. In addition to the weekly sessions, with the weekly sessions, if you are able to attend, I am going to offer a bonus point for every week that you attend towards your quiz scores. Instead of actually adding it to each quiz, I'm just going to add it at the end in the entire quiz category. So up to the 14, because I guess you're probably not going to meet the week we do final projects. So probably the 14 weeks worth of meeting, you can get 14 extra points towards your quizzes there, just for attending those sessions. And the Academic Support Center is super cool. I'm glad we have that as part of our community college culture. And apparently one of the people there had done a study. They looked at student grades and courses that had SIs and didn't have SIs, and students who attended SI sessions and didn't attend SI sessions. and they actually found a actual link between students who attended SI sessions getting better grades. So that with statistical, with statistical certainty or something like that, I forget what the term is right now off the top of my head, they could say that students who attended SI sessions got better grades. So I was super excited. And actually, I do know from experience, the SI sessions are the only reason I passed Calculus 2 the second time I took it. It took 2 times for me, somewhat recently, just a few years ago, as I was going back to get a couple prereqs for the doctoral program. Yeah, proof that they were able to do better. There's the fancy term for it that's not off the top of my head right now, if you can prove with statistics. But yeah, having an SI in the Calculus 2 class was huge for me, being able to pass it the second time, for sure. So definitely can't encourage you enough to go there. You've taken a course much like this in your college. Should I briefly touch on interfaces, example, and explain it? Yeah, we'll get to interfaces a little bit later. I'll show you the schedule later, for sure. Amazing baton. So for D2L, there is a D2L specific help desk for anything right, that's wrong with the website itself. Anything content related is me, right? So if it's something like the website's not working, call them. If there's something wrong with the content, you're not sure about material, ask me. Some other links for accessibility, for minimum tech skills, accessibility. The technology appropriate use regulations. Don't do stupid things on college resources, especially if you're using the VDI. If you abuse college resources, it's possible you could lose access to them, and it's very difficult to complete a CIS program if you're not allowed to touch college computers. So just don't, right? Don't be stupid. Netiquette, public safety, again, probably not all that applicable. Although they do work with any online harassment issues with this remote learning, feel free to reach out to public safety if you have any concerns. I'd be happy to do what I can as well, but I'll probably have to direct you to them. All right, expectations of me. My goal is to have things graded within a week that they're due. This totally went out the door last semester. I had an awful winter semester, just a lot of stuff going on, and having 6 kids at home trying to do remote learning themselves and homeschooling and things, it's crazy. So we survived the semester. I'm hoping this summer will be less busy, a little more chill, and we'll be a little bit better. So the goal is to have things back within a week. If I'm running behind, I'll let you know. And email, I will always get back to you at least within 24 hours, usually much faster. I've got some really weird hours that I keep. So if you haven't heard from me in 24 hours, please pester me again. Right, you're not going to hurt my feelings or offend me or anything. I might have just lost it in the pile somewhere. So please feel free to ask me again if you haven't gotten a response yet within 24 hours. Okay, and then our tentative schedule for the semester. All 15 weeks laid out here. We are just going to cruise. There is no break, unfortunately, which is really sad. We have to go right through August. Oh, we start in July. Oh my goodness, we start in July to August. Oh man, that's right. So, a quick review tonight of all things from 1500, chapters 1 through 7, and our first project 0. The first project 0, array-based, index 0, ha ha ha. And then we'll come back to a deeper look at chapter 6 next week and have our first real project. And then we'll spend 2 weeks in chapter 8, a second look at classes and objects, and then we'll pick up our second project on June 1st, and then we'll look at text processing, wrapper classes in 9, start on inheritance, chapter 10. We'll spend 2 weeks on inheritance. We'll pick up project 3, and then we'll get to exceptions and advanced file I/O for input-output, chapter 11. Pick up individual project 4, and then we'll have a midterm. So the midterm's a little bit late, but it gets us through all of the non-JavaFX content, and that should work out well, is my goal. So that's the only thing planned for that week. So the individual projects, the regular projects should be done individually. Project 0, I'm going to try and group you up with somebody just to make sure your tools work. So that one, sure, but it's not even really an assignment. There's not any complicated things you have to do there. The final project will work with partners, optionally. And then we'll spend 3 weeks on JavaFX, working on GUI programming. Again, so if you're using the 6th edition of the book, these chapters will be a little bit different. Don't worry too much about it. I can point you in the right direction. Chapter 12, Chapter 13, Chapter 14. We'll spend a little bit of time on design patterns, set aside some time for last-minute final project work on August 10th. And then on the 17th, this one is the only required meeting we're going to have synchronously. We'll try and all get on a Zoom call, and you can present your final projects. So there'll be a game that you get to play. It should be a lot of fun. We had a pretty good time last semester, everyone showing off their projects. You could probably take a look in the Discord history. We did blackjack last semester, so we'll do something different this semester. And that's 15 weeks. If we need to change, I'll change it, but I'll let you know. All right, that wasn't so bad. Wow. I went a little quicker. So you can submit the project as many times as you want up until the due date for projects. Yes, if you are finding code online, you will cite your source, for sure. Definitely. And again, the goal is I write projects that don't have here's a solution online, because they're nonsensical sort of things. Yeah, but yeah, if you find like, oh, here's how I sorted something here, sure, you just drop a URL in as a code comment. I show that all the time because I have to Google things all the time. Nobody remembers everything, right? So all of our books, all of our quizzes, all of our exams, all the projects, they're open book, open notes, because memorizing stuff and testing you if you can memorize things is stupid, in my opinion. And that's how I get to run my class. So it's all use your resources that you have available to you. Okay? Because I get paid a lot of money as a software engineer to not ever have to memorize things. No one's ever asked me to do it off the top of my head, right? Because that'd be dumb. So I have the same expectations for you. Don't need to memorize anything, but just know where to go look. Okay? All right. Questions, thoughts, concerns about the syllabus here? That actually went faster than I thought. I didn't show you how to install any of these tools because I'm assuming you did it all in 1500. Although not everyone might have used NetBeans, I'm finding out. So do let me know. It's relatively straightforward. So if you have trouble, let me know. We can hop on a screen sharing session, that sort of thing. Okay. Yeah. So I had big plans made of using this really cool tool with Google Classroom, or no, GitHub Classrooms that would do some auto grading. But yeah, if you've got IntelliJ, you're welcome to use that. So JGrasp definitely won't cut it for what we need to do, best I can tell. Yeah, whiteboard interviews are silly, for sure. I think, thankfully, they're sort of going out of style. Yeah, whatever version of NetBeans should be fine. Should be okay. I went and reinstalled the latest and greatest last night for the 1500 class I'm teaching, and it just croaked on me and it stopped working. It was really sad and depressing. Yeah, so if you need help with NetBeans, let me know. We can go from there and get you all set up. Yeah, I did fix Darkula finally. Thank you. Finally got it working. So, and I did update. Oh, thank you so much, Ark. Thanks for donating your Prime sub to the scholarship fund there. That's fantastic. And the Stream Elements thing shoots my emote everywhere. It's awesome. It's so cool to see. I like that emote. Unfortunately, I drank all my coffee. My mug is empty from earlier, but cheers. Get some other beverages. All right. Let me close all these down here. Yeah, I finally got Gradle working again, but it was really upset with me for whatever reason with a fresh install. Yeah, we use NetBeans. That's what Dr. Ball had put us on, and he's a lot smarter than I am, so I said, sure, I'll use NetBeans. Yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't do the emote thing unless you use channel points to get the emote or are a sub to the channel. It's part of the fun of Twitch here. So yeah, this is the stupid Gradle thing. It comes with version 6.7, which doesn't work with the latest JDK, and somehow doesn't know how to update itself, even though you tell it to. I don't really get it, but that's okay. We can make it work anyway. All right? Yeah, for sure. Oh, yeah, we'll do all sorts of new projects on it here. So actually, I'm going to show you. I've got, I have to put out the assignment here. Our very first assignment is just making sure that our tools work here. So give me just a second. Where is it? Oh, I still have the Stream Manager open. I shouldn't have that open. That's going to slow my computer down. All right, so our project 0 is just making sure all of our tools work. You get a GitHub account. I'm going to give you a link to a GitHub Classroom assignment which will create a repository for you. It's fantastic. So give me a second to grab that link here. Project 0. We need to add a new grade item to projects. I think this one's only 3 points. And then this is due next week before class, 6 p.m. All right, awesome. Okay, so pretty boring here. That one link doesn't actually work right now. Give me a second. So here's a classroom.github.com link. This will take you to a site that will create a repository for you that you can use. And I'll show you how to do all that in just a second here. And ideally, what I'd like to do is have you pair up with somebody. We're going to call them a learning partner. And then you can work with them, try and make sure that both of you are able to get this assignment completed, and then you get to know somebody in this desolate remote world that you might be able to email or send a message on Discord or something and ask questions of. Gives you a chance to meet somebody. So that's what I have to go do that too. You'll add those. And I had the idea of dividing up learning partners by people who were going to be mostly synchronous and people who were going to be mostly asynchronous. Because I thought you would probably want to pair up with a synchronous person if you were synchronous and a asynchronous person if you're going to be asynchronous. So that's my plan here. So let me start up a new forum. Is D2L having some trouble? All right, and I'll add a topic in here for synchronous partners. So just post in there. Yeah, I'll show you the syllabus quiz in a minute as well. And asynchronous partners. Yep, we'll talk about that in a second. Asynchronous partners. So you can post in there. Again, D2L, that's locked down to just people officially in the class here. So try and find a partner there to be one of your learning partners. And let me add that link. Look at that. Sometimes I can use D2L. Discussions, learning partners. Okay, so this is just a really basic Java app here. We're not doing anything fancy at all. It's just going to print a bunch of things out for me. Just a little get to know you here. I'll have your name, your preferred pronouns, your program or major, your reason for taking the course, what you hope to get out of it. And really, it's okay if you just say you just want a passing score for transfer credit. I totally respect that. And then anything else you'd like me to know about you. That's all. So before that link will work well for you, you're going to need to get the GitHub desktop client with the link from their desktop.github.com. Edit. Oh, goodness. Why doesn't it open an edit? It should open to edit. There we go. So here's our link. So this will take you out to... Now, I've already accepted the repository. That's right. I should... there's a little button to say, hey, do you want to accept the assignment? You accept the assignment, and then you refresh, and it gives you a little link here. I should redo this one, shouldn't I? Let's try this. Let me... I wonder if the virtual desktop will cooperate this time. I can do it with that. Copy that link. Yeah, dealing with asynchronous and synchronous people trying to work together could be tough. So hopefully we can partner up well without that. It is getting warm in here. Give me a second. Oh. All right, I'm going to try to turn this fan back on, but let me try it. See how that goes. Not too bad. Let me know if the mic gets too scratchy again. Difference between synchronous and asynchronous, Professor Perp? No, pick yourselves. It's a post in the forum, find somebody, and group up. I trust you folks are adults and can figure out how to pair up without me telling you. All right, let's open this. Yeah, so synchronous means that you're gonna come and attend lecture and ask questions live. Where asynchronous means you refresh. Okay, asynchronous means you don't come live, and you just watch it in the videos whenever you want, and do the assignments whenever you want. No, I don't want any of that. I don't need to restore anything. That's fine. Okay, so let's try that link here. There we go, and I need to sign in. So this is Eric OCC test, and give me just a moment. Here, I gotta go grab my password. Oh goodness. Let's see. There it is. Go. All right. Okay. So I set up two-factor auth because, you know, that's fancy. You won't have to do that unless you want to. Let's see here. That one. Barely passed the prereq. All right. Well, that's all right. We're going to spend a little bit of time doing some review today. So hopefully that'll get you up to speed before we hit the ground running. All right, here we go. So it should take you to this link. They'll say, hey, do you want to accept the assignment? Project 0, Eric, OCC test. That's your username here. Project 0 is the Project 0 assignment, and it's in the OCC repo. You say, accept the assignment, and it says, okay, just give us a second here. We're going to create it. Oh, a dad joke. You got it, King Assassin. You got it. Let me grab my dad jokes again here. Yes. Oh, this was a good one. Load. Come on. What's it doing? It's not even loading them. Here we go. I can read this little preview here. That's okay, Yuki. We'll learn to use the GitHub desktop client. I'll talk you through it all. So I started reading this new suspense thriller about a murderer, but their weird thing with this murderer is they only strike at rave and EDM parties. It's written by Dean Koontz. That was just for you, King. Okay, so again, it doesn't take that long, probably like 5 seconds is enough, and you can hit refresh, and then it gives you, oh, it's been created. Here's a link here. About the murderer at the rave and EDM parties. It was written by Dean Koontz. All right, some of them are not so great as the others, but that's okay. All right, so this now is a link you can click, and it will take you to your repository. You got one, Professor Perp? Yeah, go for it. What is it? What do evil chickens lay? Evil eggs? Deviled eggs. Oh, yeah, okay. That's a good one. I'll have to keep that. All right. So this repository even has a starter project in it for you. If you're going to use IntelliJ or something else, you can ignore it. The goal was that this would work for auto grading, so I'm going to see how well that works this semester. Anything you want to put in there, Reed? Post in there you're looking for a partner, or if someone else posts, you can reply to them and say, hey, I'll be your partner. Whatever you want to do, or tell them about yourself, and maybe that'll increase your chances of finding a partner. I'm not sure. So once you have the link here, this is the website, right? You click the code button, and it says open with GitHub Desktop. You say, yeah, I want to open with GitHub Desktop, and it'll ask if you want to use the GitHub Desktop application. Yes. This is assuming you've installed it from desktop.github.com. It's a quick little install, and you can even install it here on these virtual desktops, which is fantastic. You don't need admin permissions. It'll say, hey, where do you want to put this repository? A Git repository is just a folder with some fancy tools watching it. Oh, I've heard this one, King. This is a good one. They were cooked in grease. Yep, so it's going to put it in a My User, Documents, GitHub, Project 0, username folder, which is great. No, that's all right. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. I will steal the good ones for sure. All right, so now the GitHub client says, oh, sure, I've got a repository here. This is awesome. And two super helpful buttons are going to be the repository menu. You want View on GitHub. We'll relaunch this page here if you forget it. Or Show in Explorer. Why do people in Athens hate waking up? Because Dawn is tough on grease. Oh, yep. That's a good one. All right. So if you view your hidden items and your file name extensions, you'll see a .git folder. That's where all the magic happens. So inside a GitHub repository folder, there's this .git folder. Don't ever touch it. It has all the magic. My friend keeps saying, cheer up, man, it could be worse. You could be stuck underground in a hole full of water. I know he means well. Yeah, I had a friend who had their water cut off. So, I wanted to encourage them and try and make them feel better. So I sent him a card that said, get well soon. So this folder here is my Git repository. Right? Anything that happens inside of here, the Git client, or GitHub desktop client here, will track at the line level. It's super cool. So I could put a new folder, a new file in here, like test.txt, and we'll throw some things in here. Hi there, funny jokes. Yeah, sure. And close it, and I come back to the GitHub client, and it says, oh, hey, there's a new file here. Oh, I'm sorry, King. You had some flooding from the snowstorms. That sucks. Water's the worst. So Git is just a glorified file watcher. It will watch this directory, this folder, and track all of the files in it. Then what you get to do is you get to make commits. A commit is just a snapshot of that point in time of the contents of that folder. And what's cool is as we make commits, we can see what changes at the line level. So I can make a commit here, test file. I'll say commit. And then, because Git is a distributed source control tool, my local repository has the change, but github.com, the central location, the origin does not. So you need to push. So you do a push and a pull from your repository to the central repository to keep them in sync. Okay, then if I want to go back, I can open up test.txt and I can add some more jokes. Where does a pirate keep their cookies? Right? And when I close that, now I come to the GitHub client and it says, oh, hey, something was added at line 2. Right? So it's able to track which lines change, which is fantastic and works really well for code. So Git has been the most popular source control tool in the software development industry for many years now. I think since 2014, I want to say, they took over as the most popular tool. And GitHub is a hosting provider that sells services of hosting your repositories online and them being the origin for you. They make a lot of money. Well, maybe not even a lot, but they make money doing that. And recently were bought out by Microsoft, and they offer free services to educational institutions and things like that. I'm a big fan of Git, and I am a person who is easily annoyed at things like trying to upload attachments and Java files to Desire to Learn. I think that's terrible. So we're not going to do that. Right? We're going to use a tool that's made for managing source code and storing source code. Linus Torvald, who is the founder creator of Linux, is also the founder creator of Git, the source control tool. GitHub is just a hosting provider of Git. Yep. All right, so we can see, you have to give it a summary message. Usually you want to make them meaningful because that's what you get to see. So here's added a joke. And of course, pirates keep them in their cookie jar. Ha 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 ha. That one doesn't even qualify as a dad joke, does it? All right, anyway, so I've got this folder here, right? I'm going to grab that folder. If you click in the little breadcrumb path here in the white space, it'll highlight. You can copy, Control-C copy. And then we can come over to NetBeans, and we're going to see if this works for us. Gradle worked before I reinstalled NetBeans, and then it just forgot how to use the latest version, and it was a bit of a pain. Yeah, pirate jokes are dad jokes, right? Do you know what a pirate's favorite letter is? You'd think so, but it'd be the C. So I'm just going to paste that path in or go find it here, right? And you've got a starter project here if you want to use NetBeans and all that fun stuff. Not required. It's going to work well if we can get the autograder stuff to work. A data analyst's favorite language. R is pretty good. I'm a fan of Python as well for data analysis, but Project Zero. Yeah, Python's pretty cool. I mean, R is good too. Python's good. I actually have a friend I went to high school with. Actually, like all of school, actually elementary, middle school, high school. We played in orchestra together. But he had a dream of being a paleontologist, and he actually went and got his PhD, and he teaches somewhere in New York, I want to say now. And he knows more R than I do. He is fantastic. Like, can do so many crazy things because he does dimensional analysis of skulls of dinosaurs and other birds and sorts of things. Yeah. So he's super smart, but like he does more in R than I know how to do. That's what he does for his research, is looking at the variations in skull shapes and things, which is cool. The most popular programming language, there's a survey out there that GitHub usually does, developer survey. And let's see, this one it? No, that's not it. That's not it. GitHub developer survey. Come on. Okay, here we go. Oh, is it? Oh, is it Stack Overflow? Might be Stack Overflow. Thought it was GitHub. Sure. So they surveyed 65,000 people on Stack Overflow. So most loved languages. Wanted, loved, dreaded. Okay, maybe that's not most popular. Most popular technology. Okay, let's go most popular technologies. JavaScript, most popular. HTML, CSS. For those of us who are pompous and like to say software development is a different thing, we say HTML and CSS is not programming, it's scripting. And we just laugh at them. But sure. It's super helpful. I mean, almost everything is moving towards web technology. So without JavaScript and HTML, CSS, we have no web tech. And we can't do web applications. So sure. SQL, yes, for sure. Oh, this is versus professional. Here we go. Is that slightly different? Professional developers versus all respondents. Interesting. Just a little bit of change here. Well, so like pure HTML, there's no programming in that. There's no routines. There's no algorithms. There's just, you just write stuff. I mean, I actually teach the PHP class here at OCC. So I'm fond of it. I have no hate for it. It's what it is. I'm more of a Microsoft fanboy myself, but that's okay. Yep, SQL, Python, look at that, 44%, Java, 40%, Bash, Shell, PowerShell. PowerShell is amazing. As a Windows fanboy, I love PowerShell. C# is also my favorite programming language as well. PHP is fun. TypeScript, if you're doing JavaScript, gives you some type safety. For those of you who don't like typeless languages, it's awesome. C++ I've taught before. Not a big fan of C++, but super powerful for sure. A substring method. Oh, that's slicing, right? I think that's like Python. Did you do slicing? I forget. Oh, explode. Anyway, so we were working on this assignment here. So if it opens for you, great. If it doesn't, don't worry too much about it here, but here's the Project Zero starter code. If you're welcome to make another project in there, and you can just do your things here. Like your code here. Let me back this out. Your eye doctor recommended learning Java because you can't C#. I've heard that joke is, why do Java developers have to wear glasses? Because they don't C#. Oh yeah, so hopefully you'll get a chance to learn some of these shortcuts here, because I'm all about shortcuts. I, like most developers, all good developers, am lazy. And I mean that in the nicest sense, that we are efficiently lazy. We don't like doing more work than we need to. So if there's a shortcut for something, you better believe I'm going to learn the shortcut. Okay? So instead of typing system.out.println, parentheses, quote, end parentheses, semicolon, I type SOUT for system out, and I hit tab, and it gives me the rest. And I can say hello world. And then I can run, and this should work here. Gradle should work with this version here on the VDI, no problem. I get hello world. Let me zoom that. Can I zoom that? I can't zoom that in. Shoot. That's all right. Let me make the font here a little bit bigger. You know what? That's okay. Actually, we're not going to do too much here. Laziness is as much the mother of invention as necessity. For sure. For sure. Like, why do something if you can automate it or do it faster? Yep. Yeah, if you're writing the same code multiple times, you should probably have a method. All right, so now I'll see here in my GitHub client, my desktop client, that, oh, hey, the main file changed. Yeah, this is NetBeans here. So I'll say, sure. So this is project 0 done. Oh, no, it's actually not done. So I need to answer a couple questions, right? What questions was I supposed to answer? Oh, shoot, not full screen. That was the wrong one. Here we go. So I'm going to put my name, my pronouns, my program and major. Okay, so name. Come on, VDI. Come on. Oh, goodness. Undo. Undo. Okay. All right. And we'll just copy this. So I got name, I got pronouns, I got major, I have reason for taking the class, what I want to get out of the class, and anything else you want to know about me. Okay? So it's name. Oh, I can't spell my own name. That's embarrassing. That's K there. You can't see because the font's too small, right? I guess I'll make it slightly bigger. I'm feeling bad now. Fonts. I don't have the Darkula theme here yet. I'm really sad. I have to go add it to the VDI. Let's go like 24. Come on. Okay. All right, we got name. We have he, him. Pronouns. We have my major is a Doctor of Engineering program. Why am I taking this class? I'm the teacher. What do I hope to get out of it? For you folks to learn Java and maybe love it. No, love it's optional, but at least you'll learn Java. And what else do you want to know about me? I'm a huge nerd. Okay. Why was the new band 1023 MB extremely sad? Something about they weren't a gigabyte? Yeah, some Java 8 features are pretty nice. They haven't had a gig yet. Okay, since their formation. They have not quite a gig. I get it. All right, so that's all the lines here. Now I can commit project 0 done. I'll say commit, and then I'll make sure I hit push. Make sure you push, okay? That means not to put everything into this default section. But yeah, so when you make the project, you tell it what folder you want to put it in. And I'll show you that in just a second here. So we'll look at the other option. So what you're going to do for this, you're going to go to repository, view on GitHub. And don't worry, this is all recorded. I'll post it over to YouTube. You can watch it again. You don't feel like you have to follow along step by step by step here. Oh, I'm not logged in. Shoot. So I have to open it with Firefox. So I'm logging with Firefox. So yeah, if it says can't not be found, you just make sure you log in here. So I'm just going to refresh. And what I'd like you to turn in here, there's this pull requests tab here. Go to pull requests and click on feedback. This is the feedback pull request. This is automatic. There's other things you can do with it, which is really cool. But you give me this URL. You copy paste this into D2L. Okay? Copy paste that in. That's what you submit. Because what I get to do is I get this same view here. I can come to this file changed. I can see your Java file. And at the individual line here, I can put notes in and leave you comments and suggestions and things here. Yeah, that's fine. So I'll say your dad jokes are terrible. Get new material. Right? And I can add a comment. So I can leave feedback on your code here. If you are having trouble with your code and something's not working right, I'll ask, hey, is it current in GitHub? I'm going to go commit and push to GitHub, send me the link to it, and I can look at it and see what's happening. I can copy it down, I can clone your repository, run your project myself, and see what's happening there. Apparently, not very many people learned how to debug and use the debugger, which may be really sad. So we'll spend some time looking at debugging today as well. Okay, so the other route here then, we'll do this other route and then we'll call it break time, is here's the folder. So what you can do, just grab that folder here and you go to new project. So most of the time I use Java with Ant because I find that a little easier. So I do a Java with Ant project, Java application. You can use Gradle, you can use Maven, you can use IntelliJ, you can use whatever. Print line was SOUT for system out, SOUT, and then you just hit tab. And that will fill in the rest for you. So what you do here, you change the project location. You say, hey, I want to put it in my GitHub repository folder here. And this is, and then you give it a project name. So we'll do like project 0 again. Nope, that didn't work. Goodness. VDI is a little funky. Sure, project 0 gain. I like it. I will say finish. Yeah, I mean, you can do prints and things, but that's fine. Project Zero gain, there we go. And you can do this exact same thing here. So I'm just going to copy over here. I'll go grab all that. Come back over to my Project Zero. Go to my Java file. Switch, come on. And I'll paste it in there. And I'll get rid of these other comments because they irritate me. If you haven't had me for a class before, I am rather anti-comment, which is to a fault. There are certainly good times and reasons to use comments, and I try to never use them. The general rule of thumb, and what we like to say, is that code should be self-documenting. If you have to create a variable, and then you have to leave a comment saying what the variable's for, you did not use a good name for your variable, right? That's just true. Like if your variable is A, and you say variable A is for storing my age, you should just say age for your variable name. Right? Same thing for methods and functions. If you don't know what the method and function is doing, the name is bad. Okay? And using a decent IDE, you don't have to do any typing. You type a couple letters and hit tab and it will autocomplete. Malicious compliance. That's awesome. All right, so here's my other project. And if I put it in the GitHub repository folder, my GitHub client will say, hey, there's a bunch of new stuff. Leave all these other files. All these things are project files. They're perfectly fine. Leave them all alone. Git ignore changes, leave it alone. That's fine. Yeah, Brightside, I am very anti-comment to a fault, so I will never ask for them. If you would like me to leave a comment, please let me know. I'm happy to put them in as I'm going through code examples, but my default instinct is to not. All right, so then here's a new project. Here, we'll commit and push. All right, and we've got it all. So again, that same feedback URL, if I just give it a refresh here, it will show other files as well. So now there's a bunch of stuff in here, but that's okay. Don't worry about any of the project files. I just look for those Java files. I'll scroll down and I'll find another Java file here in a second, hopefully. Here it is. Oh, okay, sure. I must not have actually hit save. Did I hit save? There we go. Okay. Oh, there it is. So this is a good thing to check, right? You can look and see the files yourself there as well. Hydration, thank you so much. Got to stay hydrated. And you'll see, right? Red is stuff that was removed. Green is stuff that was added. Okay, so here's a new project. I'll actually save. So commits are free. There's no cost to commit and push. So I encourage you to commit early and often, because if something happens, github.com will have your code. I do feel terrible if something happens to your computer, but I don't take it as an excuse that, oh, my computer crashed, I don't have my code. Because you commit and push, and at most you're losing maybe an hour's worth of work, right? Just get on the habit, like every half an hour, commit and push, commit and push, commit and push. Besides, you need a Facebook break, right? Or Instagram break, or whatever it happens to be. Like after you've been sitting working for like half an hour, you're going to want to take a break anyway. So commit and push, go stretch, get up from your desk, do whatever you got to do, and then come back and refocus. Okay, so commit and push, and you'll never lose your code. Okay, so that's it for Project Zero. Yes, save, sure, why not? Save all. Go for it. So if the starter template doesn't work and Gradle is giving you issues, let me know. I can probably get it working. I'd like to use that for the auto grade feature, but you're also welcome to use IntelliJ and other things like that. Okay, so that is Project Zero. Oh, hang on. I need to change that to a text submission. That's right. So edit. That should be a text submission here. And then we're due for a break. I've been talking for an hour. I'm getting bored of hearing myself. So let me put some music back on. It's the free Spotify version, so we're probably going to get ads. I apologize. Let me go back to break time here. And we'll come back, say, about 7:15, okay? See you folks in a couple minutes.
Spilled your drink? Bounty picks up spills quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent so you can use less than the leading value brand. Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
Doctors, everybody thinks you have it made, right? Like you become a doctor and your financial problems are solved? Little do they know. Doctors aren't taught how to manage money in med school, and most leave training with hefty student loan debt. Enter Laurel Road for Doctors, with products that help chip away at med school debt, as well as insights and benefits uniquely designed for your needs. So doctors can worry less about student loan debt and more about being, doctors. Laurel Road for Doctors. Your financial well-being is our business. Laurel Road is a brand of KeyBank and a member FDIC.
O'Reilly.
Don't miss out on Clean Car Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. If your car could use a spring cleaning, stop by for great deals on everything you need to keep your car looking new. Like Mother's California Gold Wash and Wax, just $4.99 for a 64-ounce bottle. That's a $6 savings. Visit the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts today or O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Lyrics inspired by State Farm's surprisingly great rates.
But my rates like that, they're great like that, drive safe like that, I save like that, straight up facts, great rates.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Bet you never know, say we have the power, but there's things we touch the road. Tell them say we ready, clip them on the cut she load. Shoulda know say we no regular, anything we ready for. Bet you never know, bet you never know. Nah go take no talk, I beg no pardon, that's for sure. Bet you never know, bet you never know. How we are like the badness, we are like the globe. Bet you never know, bet you never know. We are like the badness, we are like the globe. Bet you never know, say we have the power, but there's things we touch the road. Tell them say we ready, clip them on the cut she load. Shoulda know say we no regular, anything we ready for. Bet you never know, bet you never know. Nah go take no talk, I beg no pardon, that's for sure. Bet you never know, bet you never know. How we are like the badness, we are like the globe. Bet you never know, bet you never know. We are like the badness, we are like the globe.
Darling, I've been tempted by the darkness, telling me that I should throw it all away. Fight so hard, my heart is hardly helpless. Found myself so desperate on my knees to break. And I hear the voice of an angel telling me not to let go. And I feel the spirit guiding, telling me not to give up. Hold on to every promise I've been praying for at night. I hold on to every comment, won't surrender not tonight.
Hey, folks. Yeah, sorry. I have Spotify for the free version. I don't pay for the premium. I tried to get the NCS download stuff to work, and it wouldn't download. I have no idea why that didn't work for me. Like, they've got this, like, I signed up, I made an account, and you're supposed to be able to download songs, and it just had nothing. Let's see, where was it here? Like... Try and download. Oh yeah, log in, that's right. Maybe that's it. I'll try it again. Yeah, I did the whole login thing. I'm not sure. Oh, shoot. Why didn't that work? I don't remember what my password is. Maybe I used Facebook. Who knows? Log in with Facebook. Login with Spotify. There we go. Just login with Spotify. Ah, there we go. My downloads. Have any? Yeah, like it says it's downloaded. Like it added it there. Download. Yeah, and I get this. Like nothing. So I gave up on it, and I just went back to Spotify. But, oh well, that's okay. Alright, where were we here? Office hours, I posted this link here. Is that the Gradle project, Professor Perp? I think if you do a just Java with Ant project, that'll work better. We can look at the Gradle thing later on a screen share. Updating it to the latest version should make it work. So I had trouble with that too, with like a fresh install. It says it has problems, and then you go to Tools and Options, which apparently is not there in Macland. Who knows why Macs are fun like that. And under Gradle, you can pick version 7. And version 7 then should work for your projects. Should. I guess is the stretch there. Of course, it's not even there. Can I just build it? Build project. Yeah, with Ant seems to just work so much smoother. I think I can get the auto-grade stuff to work with Ant, but it didn't work after I played with it for a little while, so I gotta spend some more time on it. We'll see. Alright, yeah, built. And then it should... Still doesn't run, of course. Run project. Why won't you run? Gradle. Run. See if this shows anything. Still complains. Yeah, I fought with it for a while and then got tired of it. Didn't do anything, did it? Yeah, this like version thing, this, okay. I don't know. I thought I had it working, but maybe not. So we'll just use the Java with Ant projects because those work so much better anyway. Oh, yeah, my current song. That's fine. Stop. Sure. All right, so let me close that down. So what I'm going to do for you folks here, I'm going to make a quick repository. Repositories? Is that it? I think that's right. Yeah, I'll make a new one. So I'll put all of my code for the class in a repository here for you to see, because putting stuff in D2L is silly. This code doesn't belong there. So I'll make a little public repository. I'll add a git ignore so we don't add all the build artifacts, right? The idea is anything that you can create, like with a compile process, you don't need. And I'm going to license mine for fun because I think the MIT license is fun. Why not? And I'll make the repository. So I'll post this link for you folks later. But all the code I write in class will go here. So if you ask, hey, what do we do in class? What examples were they? You can go find them here. You can clone the repository yourself if you want, or you can just look at it online. So I think the online viewer is pretty easy. But if you want to make a copy, you can. So the problem with cloning is you have to keep it in sync. Is the downside. Hey, the Ruwester. Thanks for tossing your Twitch Prime sub here. We'll put that money towards the Student Scholarship Fund over at U of M Dearborn for the College of Engineering and Computer Science, which is fantastic. Oh, I did actually find some cool info. OCC has, let's see, there's a really cool page I wanted to show you folks. Institutional effectiveness or something. We've got a really cool dashboard. Yeah, this is it. IE. Our institutional effectiveness. They've got this cool data dashboard that some of you folks might be interested in. It is top 10 four-year transfer colleges. So in 2019 to 2020, this is the top transfers that our students went to continue on their educational track, if they so choose. Bill 9, that is awesome. Thank you so much for your Prime subscription. You folks are amazing. So Oakland University is by far the largest transfer organization here. Yeah, I mean, we've got a lot of students, King. So then Michigan State, University of Michigan, and this is main campus, University of Michigan. University of Michigan ... over here, I believe is Dearborn, but it's not loading for me right now, of course. We hit refresh there. Maybe it'll load for me. Come on. Maybe. Maybe? No, of course. I believe this one's Dearborn, and that I am familiar with the program there, actually, because I teach there as well. Part-time Anima student over at U of M Dearborn in their doctoral program. If that was coded in there, that's just the image. That's a little GIF. Yeah, so we have lots of transfers to different places here. And if you are curious about transfers, we have a really cool transfer guide page here as well. So this is our transfer guide page. So if there's a school you're interested in, you can look at that individual school. I hate the view of this page. Like this, like the white text on that gray background makes me cringe, but that's okay. So if you're curious, you can look at these transfer guides like U of M Dearborn, or any of them really, and you can see what classes transfer based on what your major is here. So if you look at, say, going to Bachelor of Science, you can see this is the classes from OCC that will transfer right into a CIS degree there, whether it's computer science, game design, information systems, cybersecurity, data science, or software engineering, or a dual degree, these concurrent degree things they have, sure, they're fun. What classes you take at OCC and what they transfer to. Right, take your English classes, take your math classes, Calc 1, Calc 2, linear algebra, transfer over. Definitely take your math classes here because your GPA doesn't transfer, just credit does, which is fantastic. 2252, that's our C++ class, transfers for 150 over there. Unfortunately, they don't take our Java classes. For 150, they take our Java class for 296 is their Java elective class. Our C# class they'll take for their C# class, which is cool. 2353 is our data structures they'll take for 200. So anyway, all of the schools have this sort of thing. Just take a look at the transfer guides if you're so interested in continuing on your education. Meet with our amazing counseling department. They are familiar with these, can help you work through all of them if that is your educational goal, for sure. Anyway, how did we get on that track? Oh, because people were subbing and donating. That's right. All right, so I'm going to make a new project, and I'm going to put it in my new fancy repository here. So I'm going to say Chew on Explorer. And I'm going to grab this path here, the breadcrumbs, and copy. When I come to NetBeans, a new Java with Ant, Java application. Oops, that's the wrong place to paste it in. My goodness. A triple click should highlight everything for you. A double click highlights the word. US history, comp 1. Yep. Yes, for sure. Get your gen eds out of the way, because we are a lot cheaper too at OCC. That's how I did it myself. I'm actually a dual alumni. I have 2 degrees from OCC because it was like 8 extra credits to get my second associate's degree. I got my first one in business administration as I transferred over to Walsh. And then I finished up a associate's of computer information systems. All right. And we'll call this one Java Review or what? I don't know. Chapters 1 through 7. Yeah, why not? We'll name them by chapter. Econ, philosophy, for sure. That's awesome. The funny thing, Dr. Baugh is also a prof over at, or I'm sorry, a lecturer. We're not allowed to use the term professor. Over at U of M Dearborn. So he teaches the classes there as well. He's a great guy, real smart. Okay, so here we are. And I have the Darkula theme set. So it's dark mode. Because the light mode bothers me. I did upload that file to Discord as well. Where did I put it? I forget where I put it. It's somewhere in our Discord. Oh no, yeah, I put it in the general channel for the Discord there. Let's see. Let's see. Sorry, just got distracted here. All right, where'd you guys go? There we go. So you'll see in the GitHub client, there's a bunch of new stuff. Right? There's the chapter 117. Oops, the dash didn't transfer, so it's not actually chapter 17. But that's okay. I think you guys will understand. All right, so here, so I can make a commit. Why not? So this is project started. We'll commit and push. Nope, I think I clicked push too soon. Commit. Commit. And then push. Okay, there it goes. And then what you get online as well, you'll see that you can just view them online. So any folder is a link, and it opens up the contents of that folder. Again, we don't care about the other project files. We want to just look right in the source section. So here's the Java file, and you can open it up and look at it line by line by line by line. It's awesome. And then occasionally I have a problem where it doesn't compile. So I go to compiling and I uncheck this compile on save because that always screws things up for me. And I don't know why. I still have not been able to figure that one out. Okay, so we'll cancel that. So it should be fine there. And then again, we can just do our little, whatever we want to do here. Hello world example, make sure that works locally here. Give it a run and we're off to the races. All right, there we go. Hello world. Fantastic. All right. Right, and this is all the Ant is just a little builder here in Java to do all this packaging stuff, which is really cool. Whereas, I think it'll show me. No, that's the other build. I want that one. How would it show me what it was running? Yeah, that's all right. All right, so a quick recap then. Chapters 1 through 7. Oh, and by the way, that's right. There is out here in the content section in D2L, I did upload all the PowerPoint slides from the text. I'm assuming everyone is buying the book. They have their own notices. Don't share these outside of D2L, please. But if you'd like to follow along, the PowerPoint's great. I personally hate PowerPoint. I don't like when people read to me. And I find most of the time when people use PowerPoint, they put up some text and then they read it to you. And it's terribly boring because people totally zone out. They're reading the text that they see. They're not listening anymore, and it's just terrible. So I don't use PowerPoint. I'll use code examples, and I'll draw my little whiteboard app. But the PowerPoints are here. I do sort of use them to just kind of follow along, make sure I'm not going too far off track with the content-wise. And then all the code examples as well. You can go get these from the Pearson website, but I have them here for you if you just want to download any of the source code examples there as well. Okay, so you should have all of that for you. All right. Where were we here? Oh, so chapters 1 is the intro to computers, 2 types, 3 if-else, 4 loops, 5 methods, 6 classes, 7 arrays, and array lists. So I heard some people don't do a whole lot with array lists. So I want to start our review looking at array lists first, because I will always prefer array lists to basic arrays. AP Computer Science, I'm not super familiar with the content in AP Computer Science, unfortunately. I believe that's pretty similar. It's been a little while since I looked at it. But that's the review. And then we'll get into the more complicated stuff here. Okay, so with array lists here, yep, that sounds like it. I mean, that's the main units you do for any like intro to programming class. It's all control structures, if-else statements, loops, switches, that sort of thing. All right, so I'm going to make an array list, and I use these greater than less than signs. Remember, you tell it what type you want. I'm going to have an array list of string, we'll call friends. Okay, so I can declare it on one line and instantiate it on another. Now, again, I'm a big fan of letting NetBeans do the work for me here. So I'm going to click the little light bulb and say, hey, do I want to add an import? Yes, I want to add an import. Or you could type it yourself. Either way is okay, but I want NetBeans to do the typing for me. So I've declared it, and now it says, oh, hey, you've never read or written to it. Sure, we've declared something, we're not using it. It's just a little helpful warning there. Sure, that's fine. And now we can go do something with it, either on the same line or later, right? Some people want to separate those, which is fine. So if we want to do it on the same line, it's okay. So this is the declaration, and this is the instantiation, right? We're creating an instance with a new array list of type string. Right, so new array list of type string here. Great. Ooh, the redundant type argument. If it knows it's of type string, you don't have to use string a second time. So you can just say array list, and it knows, oh, it was of type string here. 2D arrays, inheritance, recursion. Very cool. Yeah, we get into graphical programming as well. Yep. Awesome. Cool, so I've got my list here, and it's still warning me I've written to it, but I've never read from it. Sure, NetBeans is super helpful. Gives you all sorts of messages about it. And now you'll notice as I start typing like FR, it pops up friends. If you don't have that, you can go to options and your editor and code completion, and you go to Java, and you want to auto pop up any typing any Java identifier part. And subword completion, and guess field method arguments is usually pretty helpful as well. Right? Let the tool do the work for you here. It's awesome. So if you're not getting that type ahead suggestion, the code completion IntelliSense, I think IntelliSense might even be copyrighted by Microsoft, but that idea, if you're not getting it, check those boxes there in your tools, editor, code completion, Java option. You should be good to go. Okay, and that's why great long variable names are fantastic, because we don't need to type them, right? We just do a couple letters and then you hit tab and it types it for you. Right, so we have our friends list here, okay? Now we can start adding to it. So remember, with an array, you have to tell it what size it is. Excuse me. With an array list, it's expandable and shrinkable. You can add to it and remove from it. That's why I prefer array lists. They're just easier to use. So I can say friends dot, and I get a bunch of different options here. I'm going to use the add. If you want to add to a particular index, you could use the add overload with an index and then the element here. So I can add a string here. And we'll add this here. So we'll add some friends. Okay, so let's add Larry. I'll add Larry to my list, and then I'll do friends.add. I'll add my friend Vlad to my list here, and friends.add. I'll add my friend Alan to the list, and on and on and on. As many as I want to add. There's no limit, essentially no limit here. Eventually you'll run out of memory, but you can pretty much add as much as you want here. And we won't run into any trouble. So that's the array list. And I can just keep adding and adding and adding and adding. If I want to get particular ones out here, right, I could say, hey, let's print out, say, friends dot, and you say get, and you get the index. You don't use the square brace index notation. You use get, which is a method to get a particular index 0, 1, 2, or 3, right? Or we could do a loop, right? We could say for index is 0, index is less than friends dot size, index plus plus. We could loop through using each index notation, and we could say, let's print friends.get. No, wrong thing, sorry. Friends.get the index. Is that too many parentheses? There we go. Get the index. It's doing some weird highlighting here. I don't know what I changed, why it's doing that. Yeah, sometimes you get some random stuff when you tab. So this is a typical for loop using index notation. Okay? So we can run that, and we'll get my friends back out. Larry, Vlad, and Alan. Sure. You could use an enhanced for loop, right? We could say for string friend : friends, right? So for each item, the type variable name in : collection, we can just print the friend, right? And we'll get it again. Same thing here, but without using the index notation. And even wants to use the functional operation here. Ugh. Okay, sure. I prefer this. I don't want that suggestion. I don't need those lambdas. Right? Yeah, why is this highlighting is really weird. No, reinstalling NetBeans was a mistake last night. It was a big mistake. Okay? And remember, this is a read-only loop. I mean, strings are immutable anyway, but I can't change the friends array list inside a read-only loop. You can inside of one of these, but it's still a little tricky. Okay, we can take a look at it later, Professor Perp. Don't worry. We got lots of time tonight. I can hop on a screen share later after class or something. Yeah, it can take a little bit of time to get set up, and then usually it's pretty smooth. It's sometimes you have to kick it, but it's not too bad. That's okay, Bill. So what we're going to do with the repository is we're just going to put our code in it. So it just gives you you clone the repository, and it gives you a folder, and we just put everything inside that folder, and it will say, hey, there's new stuff here. Scroll up on my project. There's a ever so slight delay with chat, just a couple seconds there, so just let me know what yeah, it's an import for array list. So if you type array list here, NetBeans will say, oh, hey, do you mean to import this thing? And it will type the import for you. Yep. All right, so that's the array list. We could use a regular array, right? We could have a string array, friends array, sure, why not? Equal a new string array of size 3. I don't like doing it like this, right? So you have to tell it what size it is, and then you can't ever resize it. Yeah, that's okay. We'll practice with the GitHub. It takes some practice. So that's why you will have a learning partner you're going to partner up with for the very first project, and you and your partner can help each other get unconfused and work through it. Rewatch the video if you need to. Ask me questions if you need to. We'll get you up and running. I've gotten it working for every class since 2016 or so, so you'll be able to make it work for sure. Thanks for dropping that YouTube link there, King. Right, now with the friends array. This syntax, we say at index 0, we can assign to a particular index. So we could assign Larry, and then we could say friends array at index 1 is Vlad, Vald, or Vlad. And my friends array, still can't type friends array, and index 2 is Alan. Yeah, the first project is just, the idea is, can you get GitHub to work for you? Can you commit files? And just tell me about yourself. Usually we would do like a little introduction in class, but since we're not on a Zoom call and you guys all can just type, it's probably easier to just use that as your example in code. So a couple free points there. And oh, I forgot to do a rubric for you. That's right. So with every project, I will attach a rubric so you know what kind of score you're going to get. So let me edit this one here. I'll always have a rubric. Sometimes I just forget to add them. So it's project 0. We have to abuse the system just a little bit because it's not like an English paper. So you say it's missing, you get no points, or if it's complete, you get a point. So files are committed to Git and not added via file upload. There's a button for upload files that people love to touch. This add file button, you can upload files. Please don't touch it. It's not how you're supposed to use it, okay? Clone it, have a copy in your computer, put the file in the folder, let Git commit and sync it. Right, so examples, array list and array, sure, commit and push. So just commit and push everything, okay? That's the right way to do things. Don't use file upload. Okay, so 1 point for doing that. 1 point for submitting the URL to the feedback pull request. Right, you actually give me the correct link for me to grade. A point for that. Right, again, just you're getting points for learning how to do this thing. And then code outputs. That's the requested info. Okay, 3 points. And this overall score thing is so obnoxious. We don't have overall scores. Right? I wish I could turn it off, but I haven't found out how to do that yet. Overall score. There we go. So now there's a rubric attached. Okay. So just a word of, so you don't think I'm a jerk. Maybe a warning advice. If you say you're having trouble with this, I'll say, hey, have you asked your learning partner? And try and point you to a partner first. I'm super happy to help, but you working with a partner will help get to know somebody. And then I can always hop on if you're having trouble. Don't worry. It's okay. I can get you up and running. All right. So, yep, and then we can loop through. Again, we can do the same sort of thing with index here. But now it's friends array. Now there's not a size. Right? Friends array has a length. And it's not even a method. It's just length, which is a property here. Okay, and we do friends array at the index with square brace notation. So hopefully nothing new here yet, right? We can also do that exact same enhanced for loop with friends array. Right? Both loops work fine. Why is this so obnoxious? That highlighting is going to drive me nuts. This is what I get for reinstalling NetBeans. I'm going to regret it for the rest of the semester. And I get super thirsty talking. It's crazy. All right, how are you folks so far? So it's arrays and array lists. Feeling okay? Here, let me do this actually. I can do this because this is cool. I'm going to put a little poll there in Twitch chat. And you guys go ahead and answer me in Twitch chat here. Let me do a new poll. Arrays, array lists. That's good. Touch them. Okay. Or practice is needed. Okay, so a couple options there. In Twitch chat, you should be able to tell me whether or not they feel good, they're only okay, never really used them, or you just want more practice. Something there. Let me know how they feel, what you think about your arrays and array lists. Okay, only okay, more practice, feels good. More practice, okay. Only okay. All right, that's good. We will definitely practice them. Printing the array list, just like going in and looping through. All right, good. So nobody said they never touched them. That's a good sign, at least. Is Project Zero the syllabus here? So not exactly sure what you mean. That is Project Zero that I mentioned in the syllabus. And there's also a syllabus. I forgot to tell you about the syllabus quiz, didn't I? Said I was going to do that, then I forgot. Okay, so okay, more practice feels good. Thanks for letting me know there. Yep, there's a syllabus quiz here. I need you folks to take before next class as well. That lets me know you read the syllabus. You can take it as many times as you need to. But let me preview it here real quick. Yes, sure. Come on. All right. So, ways you can contact me. Discord, email, text message, phone call, all the above. To use the tools required, you can install them in your computer, use the OCC Virtual Desktop, or both. Sure. You can watch the lectures synchronously on Twitch, asynchronously on YouTube, or either. Attending a Supplemental Instructor study group session is optional. Proven to improve a student's grade in the course, will earn an extra point of credit on weekly quizzes, or all of the above. I don't need to read these to you, do I? You'll receive no credit for late work. During office hours, you can ABCD, all the above. And then this actually was really interesting. I took a course over the winter on online teaching, which was pretty cool that we did. And this was a recommended technique to help you plan out your schedules here and just get you into the mindset of that. A typical college course requires 2 hours of work spent outside the class for every hour in class. So this being a 4-credit class takes about 4 hours once a week of lecture time, lab time, practice time, that sort of thing, and then 8 hours a week of reading the text, homework, projects, that sort of thing. So I said, please tell me what time you are setting aside to work on this course and whether or not you're watching synchronously or asynchronously. So sure, if you're going to do Tuesday synchronously from 6 to 9, great. And then when else are you going to fit 8 hours in? Was it loud again with the mic? Sorry. Turn that fan back off. Is that better? Sometimes it catches it. It's got a little bit of like a gain filter on it, but it doesn't always get it. Can you hear me any better now? How's that? I should get one of those fancy mics, shouldn't I? Okay, cool. So tell me what time you plan to spend time on the course to be successful. And then you are acknowledging that you've read and understand the course policy on plagiarism and cheating. The copy paste here was ugly because it came off the Word document or whatever. But this is the policy here. NVIDIA broadcast. Oh. I'm using OBS right now, and it's been pretty solid for me, but always into looking for better things for sure. So that's the syllabus quiz. So do take that before next week. I'll score it, and then you can retake it if you miss any points, of course. That's the when to meet. Oh yeah, 2 people already took the quiz. Wow, overachievers. Oh, it's just a noise filter? Okay, that's cool. I mean, King, it does sort of depend on the class. That's just the typical rule of thumb for it. It's not a hard and fast rule, and some classes are different for sure. But, you know, you'll see. That's what you should expect. That's why they say a 12-credit load is essentially full-time. Because 12 credits of in-person class is 24 hours of outside class work, which is 36 hours total, which is really close to 40, which is a full-time job, essentially. Okay? Cool, and I do have this calendar thing set up. I don't know if anyone uses the calendar in D2L, but I have the lectures set in the calendar along with our study group sessions, and then due dates will show up in here as well for projects and quizzes and whatnot as well. Okay? All right, so that is arrays and array lists. Yeah, typically we say 40 hours is a full-time load. That's essentially what we got to 5 8-hour days is full-time, right? we'll put you at full time. That's a lot of work, for sure. All right, so we'll practice more our next project, or the project 1, the actual, like an actual project where you have to do something serious, not just give me some print line statements. We'll work with arrays because they're fun, or array lists. Array lists are good too. No, I don't touch 3D arrays. We'll talk about 2D arrays a little bit. I don't actually have you do much with an assignment on. We might do a little bit here or there, but if you take the data structures class, you'll get into some more of that as well. That's tomorrow, actually. Yeah. Ooh, I gotta do that one tomorrow. This is gonna be a fun summer. I've got Java 1, Java 2, data structures, which is like Java 3 almost, and then the JSP PHP class. Yeah, it's just another layer, right? Like you have 1 dimension, right? And then you can have 2 dimensions, and you can have 3 dimensions. That's right, Professor. I'm so sorry you have me for so many classes. It is going to be quite the summer. I apologize in advance. I mean, I get sick of hearing myself. I can't imagine having me for 2 or 3 classes. Yuki, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yep. That's a busy summer schedule. Man, I drank a whole one of these already. I get so thirsty just sitting here talking to you folks. I'm sorry, Professor Perp. That's unfortunate. Definitely talk to me offline. Happy to get some feedback there. Oh, another dad joke. You got it. So, so I've always been looking for new jokes because you can only tell them so many times and they get boring. So I started looking into jokes told in American Sign Language. It turns out no one's ever heard them before. Sorry, King, you had that one before? That's right, you were here last night. That was a good one, though. I liked that one. I got that one like in the middle of the night, and I told my wife, and she's like, oh, that's a groaner. Arcanfurious. We're doing a little bit of review. If you need some refreshers, for sure. I wasn't planning on spending any time going over if statements or loops or switches. Do loops and while loops and for loops. I kind of assume, kind of assume that that's all up to date. So, yeah, definitely you can take a look for some more examples. Why do you want a chiropractor to be your friend? They'll always have your back. Yeah. For the last week of class for the final project, oh goodness. Oh boy. Yeah, we're supposed to do Java FX in 1500. So it is a little tough trying to squeeze it all in, but that's okay. Yeah, none of my pictures are loading. Why won't they load? It's so sad. I'm trying to get more jokes. Let's see. Let's try this. There we go. All right, here. Let me type this one out here. English weird. We understood the tough, thorough thought, though. Man, that's like a tongue twister. English can be weird. It can be understood, though. It can be understood through tough, thorough thought, though. Oh, I do need a dad joke randomizer. You're right. Yeah, Yuki. Okay, I think I know who you had. I've had discussions with that prof, and we definitely don't agree on comments, but that's okay. Everyone's a little bit different. A posture check. Thank you so much for looking out for my back. Sitting in a chair can be hazardous to your health. I've got this amazing little spine board. Yeah, there is a bot, actually. There's a Nightbot can do a lot of cool things with it. I forget. There's one, my acquaintance, Professor Melko, who teaches chemistry out of Florida, as an inspiration for me to be a better streamer all the time. He has one that gives you a random Kanye West quote. And it was like a built-in feature of the bot. Yeah, I forget exactly what that one was. But that one was really funny. You could get just random Kanye West quotes, because why not, right? Yeah, we could look that up later. That'd be a fun project. Hydration. Oh my goodness, I drank all my... Oh, okay, I got a little bit left in this can. I thought this one was empty, so I had to switch to the other one. Another, all right. Cheers. Thank you. Hope you folks are staying hydrated as well. Okay, so that's array lists. Real briefly, loops. I don't think we need to do anything with if else switches, that sort of thing. There's some nice empty space next to my video. I know, like underneath my screen capture, I could fit some stuff there. That would be fun. Oh, is my internet getting bouncy again? It's been having some Comcast trouble lately. I should just scroll dad jokes there, you're right. I should look into that. Uh-oh. How's the connection? Okay, yeah, it's getting a little bit unstable there. That's really unfortunate. My upload speed. I don't know. That's really hit or miss there. Yep. Panic basket. All right, we'll try it. It seems like it's coming back a little bit better. How's that? Are we stable again? Internet is the weirdest thing. Oh, come on. I can see it like spiking there. Was it Inspector? Nope. Inspector. Jungle Squad? Log in. Yes, log in. Didn't I say log in? That's a great one. Come on. Maybe get this to load. Yeah, there it goes. And all spiky. That's okay, Yuki. You can watch the recording. It's no big deal. No big deal. Having some issues. Come on. Yeah, unstable, unstable. It was like pretty solid the whole time up until now. All right, let's... All right, we'll try taking like a 10-minute break. I'm gonna see maybe my kids are zooming or something right now, and then we'll pick it back up in a couple minutes, and hopefully I can make it a little more stable for you. If not, we'll have to call it a night. But let's try coming back in 10, okay? Put some more music back on.
Telling me not to lay it down, and I feel the spirit guiding, telling me not to give up now.
This is Ice-T and Stone Cold Steve Austin, and
This is a cold call.
We're on a mission to get America to switch to cold water washing with Tide.
it saves you energy.
And that saves you up to $150 a year on your energy bill.
Plus, Tide cleans better in cold than the bargain brand in hot. So what are you waiting for?
Turn to cold because Stone Cold said so.
Turn to cold with Tide.
Energy savings based on average when switching from hot to cold and non-HE machines. Performance based on Tide Power Pods versus leading baking soda packs.
The sounds of Angry Orchard. Natural, refreshing sweetness. Naturally sweet. There's nothing wrong with sweet when there's real apples involved.
Angry Orchard Hard Cider. Natural sweetness, real apples.
Come on.
Angry Orchard Cider Company, Walden, New York. Drink responsibly.
At Kroger, everything we sell is guaranteed fresher than fresh because our associates constantly check to make sure everything is at the peak of freshness. That means peeking at the peaches, spying on the steaks, and delving deep into the dairy department. So everything we sell is guaranteed fresh, or we'll make it right. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Get more ways to save at the Buy 5 or More Save $1 each sale. Just buy 5 or more participating items and save $1 each with card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Hey folks, how's it going? Sorry for that. Is it any more stable now? I think it might be a little bit more. My kids are on Zoom, but no, it's still kind of laggy. Man, maybe just Comcast is crappy right now. Yeah, I thought it was fine, and now it's dead again. This is awful. Sorry, folks. I don't know. No delay, but tons of lag or skipped frames. Okay, it's not too bad right now. All right, let's give it a shot. Give it a shot. If it gets too bad, we can just call it, but we'll try here. All right, so we did arrays and array lists. Now let's go and add a class. So that's the big focus of this class, is object-oriented programming. Oh, I didn't even pause the music, did I? There we go. I turned it down a little bit, but forgot to pause it. All right, and that'll probably be all we need here. All right. So with object-oriented programming, remember the idea is we have classes that are our nouns. They have attributes, right? They're properties. Right? The things about them are their private instance variables, and the ways that you interact with them. Had my drop replaced? I had Comcast come out and they changed the connection between the pole, or where the wire from the pole was coming into the wire in my house. They said that was getting a bunch of water and it was kind of rusty, so he said I might need to get the line replaced into my house too, but they weren't actually coming into houses, so we'll have to see. But, I mean, it was stable all last night and earlier, so I just kind of want to blame Comcast for congestion. Maybe 8 p.m. is a busy streaming time or something for people at home. So our classes, right, are the nouns. The things that they do, their verbs are their public methods, the ways that we interact with them, and they have their private attributes that we protect, right? We want to keep all their private attributes protected here. So let's make a new class here. Maybe this one will be a cup. Okay, so I have my class for cup. The things cup knows about itself, right? It has a private string for maybe it knows its color. Maybe it has a private int for max volume. Maybe it has a private int for current volume. And we should always specify here, we should be careful here, like max volume, we'll say this is in maybe, how about milliliters? Milliliters? Because that way you know what your unit is. You don't want to leave a comment saying it was in milliliters. Oh, nice, okay, you're a tech. Yeah, those techs are awesome. Keep the internet running for everybody in the world. So these are my private attributes. Okay, and now if you haven't seen this trick before, I don't show my 1500 class because I want them to have the practice of doing it by hand and like learning how that all works and understanding the steps here. You can go right click and say insert code. NetBeans is phenomenal, right? Be lazy. Don't do more work than you need to. We're going to insert code. I'm going to insert getters for everything. And it'll give me all my get methods. Get color, get max volume, get current volume. If you want, you can insert setters. So we can insert setter code for set color, set current volume, set max volume. Sure, we could do all that. And then we could even insert a constructor as well. So we can insert a constructor that takes all these parameters. We could also, if we wanted to, have a constructor that takes none of those parameters. Right? Sure, why not? So then color would need to be, empty or something. Max volume would need to be 0, and current volume would need to be 0. You can see how I'm not really typing it all. I'm just typing a couple letters and hitting tab for it to autocomplete. Right? The constructor's job is to set values to its instance attributes. That's the constructor's job. It might take them as arguments, or it might just set them as defaults, depending on how you go about it here. Nothing wrong with that. So you can have either one. Right here, these are overloaded constructors, right? This constructor has no arguments. This constructor has 3 arguments. Overloaded constructors. Okay, you could do the same overloading with methods, as long as the signature is different. Remember, the signature is the parameters and the name. That's overloading. We'll have our gets and we'll have our sets. Okay, now we have a cup. Awesome, so we can make a bunch of cups if we want, right? So let's make a cup. How about we ask the user a couple things? So we'll use scanner, we'll call it keyboard like Mr. Gaddis does. It's a new scanner, given system in, and NetBeans will say, oh, I don't know what a scanner is. We'll say, click the little light bulb and say, yes, add the import for scanner, yes, please. Then we'll ask them, what color is your cup? And we'll have a string for color is my keyboard.next line. And then we'll ask them, what size is your cup? We should tell them like in milliliters, right? Milliliters. And now we need an integer, so I'll have an int for max size. Sure, why not? Even in milliliters, why not? Milliliters, doesn't hurt. And now I'm not a fan of using keyboard.nextInt, because remember that screws up your input because it won't parse the enter key. So what I always recommend is you use integer.parseInt and you hand it the keyboard next line. That way it takes the enter key off the buffer and you don't run into any issues there. Okay? Sure, and then we can make a cup. Or we could, we could even ask them like how much it is currently in the cup. The cup in milliliters, in mLs. Sure, why not? And we'll do the same thing here. If this is a current volume in milliliters or something like that, sure, why not? We'll make a cup. So cup, this is, I don't know, new cup, or lowercase c cup, sure, equals a new cup, given the color, the max size, and the current volume. And I want to make sure those match, right? So I'm going to go over to cup, and we'll make sure, so it's max and then current, right? We got to make sure we give the variables in the correct order here. Then we can do things with cup. Now, right now there's not a whole lot we can do with cup, but what we could do, we could come to our cup class, and we could add a toString method. Remember, if we just output here cup, we output cup, what do we get? Do we get anything useful at all? No, we get garbage nonsense. We get the object version of toString. So what color is your cup? Mine is green. It is 20 ounces, 591 milliliters. It has no milliliters left. So I get chapters 1, package 7 cup. Ugh. That's ugly. That's meaningless, right? This is the object's version of toString. It's not a useful toString. So what we can do is we can add an override. We add the @override annotation here so that the compiler will check to make sure that we are doing the right thing. Public string toString. And what do we want to do? We want to return. How about we'll do a string.format. Have you done formatted strings before? With string format? So string format ring a bell for anybody? Format. Anyone? Yeah, okay, cool. So we'll say color, sure, max volume, that in milliliters, and current volume, there's no N in volume, volume is that mLs, right? And then we'll give it color, we'll give it max, and we'll give it current volume. So it's a little long. Let's break that down a line here, and we'll just return that string format, right? We're subbing in at our, it's not curly braces, is it? It's percent %s. Is that it? No, that's printf. Is it curly brace? Wow, apparently I need to remember that here. Let's try that. I think it's percent signs, curly braces. So green, 591, it's empty, 0. Oh shoot, no, it didn't sub. What's the %s? My goodness. All right, sure, that's all right. Java string format. Oh, it is percents. Okay. I thought it was only on printf. So %s for a string, %d for digits because it's stupid. That's not I for integer. %d for digits. Okay. Let's try that now. So you guys didn't correct me, so you must not be as familiar with string.format either. Green, 591, 0. There we go. That's my cup. So I have a string representation of cup. And because it's the toString method, right, I don't need to actually call toString. That happens implicitly when you hand an object to println. Because println tries to turn things into strings. Does that ring a bell? Is it still super laggy? The heck? That is really depressing. Yeah, oh, it's awful. I'm sorry, folks. That's terrible. All right, I might go reboot my modem. Maybe that'll give it a kick. But I think that's good for now. So this is class review. We'll commit that and push it. Commit and push. All right. All right, we'll call it a night. It's just not happening. It's not in the cards. All right, glad that rings a bell. So I've got all those code examples out there. I'll post a little recap in a little bit with all the links you need here. And then we have Project Zero. We have the Syllabus Quiz. I'm not going to bother doing a quiz on chapters 1 through 7. We'll do a quiz on chapter 6 next week, because next week is all review of classes from chapter 6, hitting it hopefully deeper than you hit it previously. Again, not really sure exactly what all you folks covered, how deep you went in classes. So, and we'll take a look at classes, and I'm also talking about unit testing. If you didn't have my class, it's very unlikely you talked about unit testing. So we'll talk about that as well, and then we'll have our first real project assigned from chapter 6. All right, so that's all I've got tonight. If you're having trouble, I know Professor Perp, you were having some trouble. We'll take a look and see what's going on with NetBeans, and we can go from there. Fill out the when to meet for the office hours. I'll post that link again. It was in Discord, but I can post it again for you folks in a little recap. All the code examples are out here. You can just go take a look at the Java file right in the course repository, and we'll go from there. So let me know what I can do for you. Keep in touch, and I'm looking forward to a great semester. All right, let's see who else is on Twitch. Can we get anything to load here so we can go raid somebody for fun? It's always fun to go raid somebody. Right? See who's around. If I can get this to load. Oh man, Comcast is sad. Rob actually doing anything right now? Yeah, Rob's a lot of fun. He's a nice guy, real good. Loves to share knowledge. We'll take a look at so we can head over his way. Oh shoot, I need the stream manager for that. Okay, I can't trigger a raid from my other console. RWX Rob. Let's see what he's doing tonight. Or do you want to do more programming? I guess they're both programming. Here's another class though. I'll take a look at Rob's channel. Alright, almost there. Thanks, folks. It's been fun. Yeah, and sometimes the setup's a little tricky there, Professor Perp. We can take a look if you want. It's no big deal. Let's just get that loaded here. Come on. Yeah, my whole computer's just, everything on the internet's running slow now. Raid. Got nothing working. Alright, it's not working at all, so we'll just call it. Thanks, folks. Take care. And I don't have the raid set up. Oh, there, you need to watch an ad. Page not responding. There we go. Yep. That's alright. Alright, folks. Take care. I'll see you next week or later, tomorrow if you're in the other class. No, is it set up? I can just do that in chat. I'm gonna try it then. I'm curious. Twitch Inception. UX Rob. Can't even type it in chat. It's that broken. Oh, there we go. Maybe. We'll try it. I'll try it, Professor Perp. Nice. I think that might work. Maybe. All right. Oh, there's a countdown. All right. Thinking about it. All right. Oh, talking about Windows subsystem for Linux. It's good stuff. Appreciate it. I'll talk to you folks soon.